Alright guys, so welcome back to this part number 3. So if you watched my previous part where we have worked on the validation, so if I click on it, you see there the post is required, and as far as I click on the image and try to click on the save post, so this is going to hold on and hide the error, right? Now in this video I'm going to explain once we click on the save post, so this is going to save the data into our database, plus we have to save this image to our folder. So to our folder we have to create here the storage folder that I'm going to create later on. So let's first look how we can grab the form submission, how we can use the form data, and then we can submit the form and store to our database. So let's go and back to the code. So the steps that I need to follow up. So if I go to my resources, views, and index.blade.php, there is everything that we see. We have the onChange property, and with the help of onChange method, we can get its input field, and it will read the input field source, and it will read the data URL. Now I need that what I've created inside my public assets, and inside my JavaScript I have a helpers.js file as well as custom.js file. Now inside helpers I need my sweet alerts to show the message once something happens, which I'm going to show you later on. So if I go to my custom.js file, where we have some click event where we have see if the check is true, means that if we have the file, and it will add the file and get its form data. And now I need to call a function inside the check that once everything works fine, means that the file is inserted and we need to store it to our database. So I need to create here a separate function for that. So let's create here a function first. So down underneath that the ready function, I need to create here. So I'm going to say save, let's give it the comment, save image or post. You can save post function. So I need to create here a function. Let's give it the function name of upload. Let's give it the name of upload post. And inside here I need to pass the form data, which is coming from the data that we pass here. So if I'm going to show you, so this form data has my form, which has the ID of add post form, everything which is inside the form, right? So let's go inside the function, and I need to create here something which is known as headers. So if you see, if I have shown you on my master.blade.php file, so we have something which is known as CSRF underscore token. So that is something which can stores the data. So there are two ways. Let's first create here a CSRF token inside the index.blade.php. So underneath that form, I need to create here CSRF and saves it. And later on might be I need to add the headers. So let's first add the $.ajax. We have an AJAX request, so I need to pass here the AJAX, and AJAX must have the type, which is post. So let's first give it the type, which is post. Definitely we are submitting the form, so we need to have a post request. We need to pass here something which is known as form data. So let's pass the form data, which is coming from the the ID that we pass to the form, right? So everything which have the form gets the values. So we have a data, and the data type that I need here is the JSON format. So let's add that here. So data type of JSON, I need the content type to be false. Normally when you are if you're working with the image, so you need to pass those process data content type, make sure that to be false, right? So I just add the content type process data. Let's add the URL here. So I give it the name of save underscore post, which is the name of my URL. And let's add here the success function. So success function will check if the data is passed successfully. So this is going to show us some messages, which depends on the controller. We passed the message through the controller. So I just passed here. Actually, I need to add here the if condition first. So that would be the if condition, and that will be the else, right? So I pass here the data, and that data actually will check the status to the controller. So if I go to my controller app http controllers, and the name of the controller, which is post controller, and we need to save. So we need to first create here a file. We need to create a route first. So if I go to my routes web.php, make sure that it should have the route of save underscore post. So I'm going to copy that, and let's create here save post. And right here, I'm going to give it the route of post request, and let's create here the method, which is save underscore post. And I need to create here a controller. So for that, I need to, the name of the controller in my case, which is post controller, and we have to create here a function with the name of save underscore post, and we have to go to the controller. Let's go back to the controller, HTTP post controller, and let's define here a function. So public function and save underscore post, which is the name of the function. Let's pass here the request. So $request, and I don't need to directly create here the first we have to check that request is coming to the to our controller, right? So I need to bring up something which is known as model that we are using is post. So use app/post. And I believe we haven't migrate the table, so let's first migrate it. So the good way I'm gonna use here, let's clear that first. I'm using here git bash. So first migrate the table, php artisan migrate, and this gonna migrate the tables for the post. By default, the users tables are created, right? Now that's fine. All right, so let's check this out, and I need to pass here the data, which we're gonna see later on. Let's go back to the inspect and open up the console. Let's refresh that all. Yeah, if I click save post, yeah, that's fine now. Okay, so the form data, which is empty, if I go to save post, actually the form data is coming here empty. So let's have a look and see. It's still empty, right? So I need to do some changes here. So while we have our images inside my, if I go to my post controller, we have to check the request of the image, and I need to go to custom.js. So save underscore post, which is fine. So the type of the request, which is post, yeah, I have to, sorry, I forget to call this function. So that function should be called right inside my check, and I need to check if everything works fine. Now let's go back and refresh this, and if I click on the image and save post, now it's showing us the error. If I click on here, that means it's again, as I explained, that it's going to show a CSRF token mismatch error. So in order to remove that, I need to pass here something, the token value. So how we gonna do that? So let's go inside my upload post. Right after here, let's add here $.AJAX setup, and inside here I need to add the brackets, and let's pass here the headers value. So you remember that we add the CSRF token value inside our meta tag, so just grab it from there. So x-CSRF token, it should, make sure it should be in capital letters. I hope it's fine, but let's check this out. Put colon, and now here inside here I need to add meta, and inside meta we need to bring up here the name equal to, which is CSRF token. All right, and let's add the content for it. So attribute and add the content. Actually, I don't need the semicolon right here. All right, so I believe it's fine. And now if I go back to the browser and refresh this, and now if I tries to add the image, let's click on the CSRF underscore token, and you see now it's empty. There's nothing inside that, right? So that means we can access the controller right here, right? Now if I go to console, there's no error, right? So that's good to go. All right, so now we are accessing the, we can access the setup save underscore post. Now let's go inside the post controller, and we have to check now if it's accessing the image or not. So make sure you have migration, you have run the migration So if I go back to the terminal and let's add the migration. So in order to run the migration, you need to click enter. So this is going to create the migration for you. So in my case, I run that already. So I don't need to migrate that. I did that, I believe. Yeah. So you need to run the migration that we have just created. So once you run the migration, so this is going to create the tables for us, the users table. Now we have the post table as well, that where we can post the image, right? Okay, so just close that up and right here some post equal to new post. We need to create here a new post. So let's create a new object model for the post and check if the request. So in order to check the file, so we have a method with the name of has file. Now if the request has file of the image, and let's add here a variable with the name of complete. We can also get the complete file name, right? So give it the name of complete file name equal to $request. So $request file, and we need to check the image and get its get client original name. This gonna get the name of the file. So the name of the method, which is original. So original is, make sure the spellings should be right. Now if I go and test this out, let's grab the variable, and now if I type this one. So one thing that you need to see if you go to your upload post, and make sure that you have passed the parameter inside the upload post, which means that we are getting the value for the form data, right? Now next thing, that once you're done with that, let's go back and refresh it, and there we go. If I go here and let's add the image, and I just want to clear that out, and if I click on the save post, so this is going to show you the name of the file, which is the API CRUD.png, whatever the name of the file is that. And if you can even DD that, if you go to your post controller, you can also DD that request as file image. So this is going to show you Boolean, which means that yes, there is an image. So this can return you true. Let's have a look and see. If I click save, and there you go, right? So that's it will return you the Boolean. All right, so let's refresh this all, and now I need to add some further things here. So inside here we have to see, we get the original name. Next I need to give the file name only. We can also access that. So let's create here a variable. So file name only equal to, we can also provide the path info. So let's provide the path information with the help of path info method. And inside here, I need to provide two things. So the first thing that I need is to provide the complete file name, and the next parameter, which is the path info underscore file name. So this is gonna do and give you the exact same thing, which is your file name. You can even test this out. Right, and now I can also extract the extension if I want. So let's create here a variable with the name of extension. So I want to do every single thing that can help you out to get anything for the image. So request file, and we have the file for the image, just like that we did for the get line client original name. We get the request file image, and we did the same thing for the extension. So request file image, and now we have a function with the name of get client original extension, which I don't want to write my own. I can have the spellings issue a lot, so this really can saves you a lot of time. Don't need dot here, bring up an arrow. So this is going to give you the extension. So if I can show you, so let's grab the extension and saves it. Now let's go back and refresh this, and if I tries to type save post, go my save underscore post. So the extension that I have is the .png. All right, so we can also get the extension. I hope you can it makes sense to all. So for the complete picture path, we have I need to save the data to our database, so I need to do a little bit changes. So for the complete picture, I give it a variable, and I need to replace, like string underscore replace is a method. I need to replace those spaces with the underscore. So let's bring here the underscore. So the spaces will be converted into the underscores, and the name of the file I just need simply get from the file name only. And I also need to concatenate furthermore changes. With that, bring here the dash, and I also need to give it some random rand function will give it some sort of random name, and I also need to give some let's pass here, concatenate that, pass some underscores, and I also need to give here the time when it's uploaded. So with the help of time method we can do that, right? I hope it's fine, right? So let's also pass here the extension. I need to place here the extension, so give it the dot, and with the help of single quotes dot, and I need to grab the dollar extension, which is the variable. So let's just pass that up, and let's have a look at whether the name, what type of name that it will convert while saving the data to our database. So let's refresh this first to see everything works fine. Now if I just want to close that, actually save underscore post, so that's fine, right? So you could see this is basically the name of the file, API underscore CRUD, and it will bring the it convert the spaces into the underscore, and then I bring here something which is dash. I could show you here inside the code. Now next we bring here we convert the space into the underscores, we bring the dash, and rand function will generate some random number string, and there you could see the space will again convert that to the underscore. And next we have some time, and after the time I believe it's a seconds that it convert. The whole time it converted into seconds, and then we bring here dot and the extension, right? So I hope it makes sense to all, right? So this is the dot and the extension. So that's why we just did it, because we are saving the random images, because when we are the multiple images with the same name, so it's really confused when you are deleting or editing the data. So it's always be a good way to have some specific name for the specific image. All right, so I hope it makes sense. So let's give the path that we want to store to our storage folder, which I'm going to generate right now. And let's give it the request for the file, and the request for the file, which is the image. And I want to store inside my folder. So store as method will create here the folder. So the name of the folder, which is public/post, which I haven't created yet, and just bring that complete path of that. I hope it makes sense. So that should matches with the it will store to the folder, and this complete path will check, it will also save the data, and will also assign the same name to that, to the file that will be saved to our storage folder. Now we need to save it, so simply pass here post, and which is coming from the new post that we will generate, and now with the name, which is the image. And let's pass here the complete pic. Oops, actually it should be complete picture, right? So I need to also test, and if the post is saved, means we have to bring here some check. So if the post is saved successfully, I need to return here the status. Let's bring here the status of true, and it will only return true with a message if it's saved successfully. So let's give it the message is okay, give it the post saved successfully. All right, and I also need to that's the return status for the true. And if I go to the else, and let's give it the return status of false on the other case if it's not saved successfully. And later on I'm going to show those messages using the suite alerts, right? So give it the message of something went wrong. All right, now just saves it. And yeah, I need to link it with the storage folder. So if you go to the directory, if I go to my XAMPP htdocs, and the name which I have of my folder, which is image underscore CRUD underscore Laravel, and if I go to the public, you can either save on to the assets folders if you want, but the good way is that we can generate some storage folders. So in order to create that, I can just simply type a php artisan storage underscore link and press enter. and this is going to create something like a storage folder with a shortcut folder. And if I go inside here, let's create here a folder with the name of post, and basically this folder is coming from which we have just created like a store as, and this is the path like public / inside we have a folder with the name of post. All right, so let's save it. Now we have to pass those response to the we need to pass those response inside our custom.js file. So for that we have to show the suite alerts, but first I need to just simply test this out. So if we have a condition like if the data dot status, so this status is actually coming from this, like if the data dot status is true, so I need to just simply give it the success message, simply just pass here console, and on the other hand let's pass here the error. And now if I go back and refresh this, and let's add here the image and save the post, and if I go, you see the post saved successfully and the status is true. Now if I go back to the database, and there we go, right? So you could see now the image is saved successfully, and if I could see my post folder, and we have the image, right? So this image name should match with the DB name, right? So that's fine. So we are good with the right now. The next thing that I need here is I basically want those response messages to be shown on suite alerts. So we are going to do that. So I'm going to take a break for here, and I will be right back. All right, guys. So now you could see now if I just try to save another image, and if I click on the save post, so this message is shown to the response, and we need to show this message using suite alert. Now if I go to the database, you see the image is saved successfully. I need to show that response with the help of suite alert. So let's go and inside your helpers.js file that we just created, public assets.js, we have the file with the name of helpers.js file. So we need to bring some functions in. So I first create here a separate function. So let's write a function first for the show custom success, and I need to pass here the text here, whatever the text value we get, and we need to show the suite alert. We have to fire that. Let's create here the first we have our success, and we can also write the text that we need to show, which is definitely success. Actually it should be text comma, and let's add the success, right? So as simple as that. Now I need to create the same function for the custom errors. So first change that to show custom error, and we need to bring here the text here. The suite alert fire should show some icon. So I'm going to just do some little bit changes inside that, just remove that, and let's add some more. We need to add here the icon for the error. So just if we bring up the error, next we need to give it the title, which I want oops. Look how good and elegant it is. So oops, and we can add some text which is coming dynamically, so it saves it, right? So I hope we are good to go. Saves it. Now we need to pass those methods inside our inside the custom.js file to show us the rather it should show the console. We need to show the populate the messages. So let's create there inside the data.status. So we have first method, which is show custom success, and inside here we need to show the message. So we can get the message by simply data, and we can access the message from the controller. So now for the error case, we need to show custom error, and let's bring here the data dot error. And last thing that I need is some, if there are some server issues, so let's bring here the error function. So pass here the error, and inside here let's give it the show custom, again the same show custom error messages. So set that to be something we pass the text value, so it should be something went wrong. It should be went, right? Saves it, and I hope we are good to go. Now let's look and see. If I refresh this, let's find nothing, no issue to the in our console. Let's add the image. If I click on the save post, there we go. So post saved successfully, and we are good to go. Now once I save the post, I want this message, I want this image should be replaced with the placeholder, right? So if I refresh this, it should go back to this. So I need to do a very minor change. I need to grab the ID where we have, if I go to my resources, view, index.play.php, we are getting the placeholder image with the ID of post_user_image. So I grab this ID, and if I go to my custom.js, inside this success message, I want that it should be back to what actually it's. So in order to get the attribute for the source, we are using attribute method, and I need the source back to the image that we have. So we have assets/images/ and the name, which is placeholder.png. All right, so this is going to get the path of the placeholder image. Now if I go back and refresh this, now let's add the another image, api.png, click the save png, the image says saved successfully, and we are clear, we are back with the placeholder image, right? So that's it, right? I hope you guys love a lot this video. This video is the best video that I would say, so please don't forget to like and subscribe this video. It's been a lot of effort with this to create something like that. So please don't make sure you like and subscribe, and I want to see you in the next video where we are gonna show you the listings of the images. Just down we create a table and we will show some listings. So I will be right into the next part.